Ready for a trip back to the 70s?
Every year in the 70s must have felt like a transitional one. What with explosions in entertainment, technology, and societal awakenings that went down in that decade. In this 3-part series, we'll explore a world that was dominated by disco, AM gold, first-gen computers and video games, macrame owls, and avocado-colored appliances, all neatly packaged in a wood-grain box we called home. The 70s, a crossover decade between the easygoing free-love time of the 1960s and the neon-blinding, Cold War yuppie capitalist era that defined the 80s, and probably the last decade where people felt truly relaxed on the whole. In subsequent decades, everything seemed to accelerate faster and faster. The pace of technological advances, the pace of life, the pace of work, the pace of always feeling like you had to run to catch up on anything. It can be an exhausting time we live in now. Not to say the 70s didn't have its share of fast pace and struggles, but looking back, it seemed nothing compared to today. The years 1970 to 1973. The world had to say a lump-throated goodbye to a popular rock band, the Turtles. Oh, and the Beatles. A cold-weathered rooftop concert in January of 1969 proved to be the last time anyone would see those four play together again, and made room for musical powerhouses such as Edison Lighthouse and Atomic Rooster. I was only a toddler in 1970, and probably didn't retain much memory until I was about 4 or 5, but looking back at our home movies from those days, it felt like I was watching hippies on a pilgrimage to Woodstock or something. My parents were only in their mid-20s and still had a lifetime of living in front of them. I remember my 5th birthday though in 1973. House was full of relatives and grandparents and some friends. Back then, people didn't need a big occasion such as a 50th wedding anniversary as an excuse to get a houseload of people partying. In those days, something as simple as a kid's 5th birthday was more than sufficient. I got a big wheel trike that year, and I remember wanting it really bad because I had seen a commercial for a home floor waxing product on TV that, according to the spokesperson, would be the only waxing you'll ever need. And to prove its efficacy, they showed a freshly waxed kitchen floor being trampled by a parade of kids on bikes, wagons, dirty shoes, bouncing basketballs, and yes, a big wheel trike. I remember that commercial to this very day, and when I sank down into that seat for the first time with my feet extended out and pedaled that inaugural trip around the house, wax or no wax, I had truly arrived. A watershed moment experienced in real time. No idea what ever became of it. By the time I was 7, we had moved to a new province, and that big wheel had most likely been replaced with a banana seat bike. My dad had been a huge Elvis fan, and I remember him laughing when he saw on TV that Elvis had visited Nixon in the White House. By then, Elvis had abandoned his black leather in favor of the more stretchy and comfort-pleasing one-piece sequin jumpsuits that allowed him the flexibility to really ramp up his pelvic acrobatics on stage without nutting himself in the midst of a cape drape. E had a taste for the elaborate, and over time, the jumpsuit became more extravagant with rhinestones, fringes, and God know what else he could hang off of it, and eventually he kind of looked like a walking carny prize. But only Elvis could pull that look off, and everyone else in the 70s who emulated it were just fooling themselves. There is only one E, and we'll cover him more in episode 3. The early 70s wasn't just a change in music, politics, or jumpsuits. It was also the dawning of the age of 8-bit Aquarius, and the era of video games made its debut. Though not the first coin-operated video game, Pong was the first to reach high commercial success and became the cornerstone of Atari's early dominance. So what was it really like being a kid back in those days? Big wheel trikes aside, the world felt slower, simpler, full of wonder in the smallest things. Bike ride at dusk, the jingle of the ice cream truck, or the smell of rain on hot pavement. Those weren't just moments. They were the quiet magic of childhood stitched together by laughter, scraped knees, and endless summer days that never somehow seemed to fade. The only thing that really sucked is that you couldn't hit rewind to do it all over again. But we do have our memories, and when they go, we'll have these videos to remind us.
Everyone, thanks for dropping by my little slice of the 70s. If you're enjoying it, I've got one favor to ask. Check this out. Please subscribe. It'll keep the good vibes rolling. Appreciate you. See you next time.